Vulnerability is about being all in. Quite simply put, is if you always live behind a guarded facade and you live a superficial life, you don't share with others, those especially close to you or those in your circle that you work with in business, entrepreneur, in a career, the more vulnerable you are with people, the more they're likely to, let you into their world as well. They're more likely to trust you. And I talk about this quite often, right? People want to know, like, and trust those that are around them, that are in their circle. But in order to do that, right, for people to know, like, and trust, or liking and trusting them, there has to be some vulnerability. There has to be some walls that are dropped, things that are shared. Obviously, you're going to share things that, you feel comfortable with. But the more you get to know people, the more that you're vulnerable with them, the stronger your relationships will be with them. And that goes, again, works both ways, right? You'll have better relationships with them. And once they're more vulnerable with you, you'll have better relationships with them as well. So again, vulnerability is a good thing, not a bad thing. I know many people don't believe that. They lead guarded lives and they figure that the less they share, the more that, people can't utilize against them. They're always thinking of it in a negative. If I'm too vulnerable and I'll share things and I tell things to people, it can come back to bite me in the ass. Well, guess what? You're right, it can, but you can't live a life where you're guarded and, unable to share with others, unable to be vulnerable and, share what's on your mind. Again, within reason, right? It has to be within reason. And you can't let that stop you from sharing with others, being concerned about whether or not they're going to utilize it against you in the future. Because there's always going to be asshats like that in your life that will, you think you trust, and year, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 years later, something you tell them, they throw it in your face, or they tell others and they gossip. And you don't want people like that in your circle anyway, whether they're families or friends, doesn't matter who it is. You got to be vulnerable. You got to share with each other. You got to share with others. And if it comes back to haunt you, obviously that person wasn't somebody that you could trust, and you're just going to find out. And you move forward and find those that like, and trust both ways, them to you and you to them, where you can be vulnerable and know that what you share with them stays between you and them, and vice versa. I look forward to talking tomorrow. God bless you all. Peace out and stay out of trouble.